Gravitas, co-presented by Skoda. Kushaq, choose what really matters.
And we can tell you Afghanistan is not Joe Biden's only failure. He is presiding over a massive surge in Wuhan virus cases. Tonight I'll tell you a story from Alabama. It's about a 73-year-old patient, Ray Demonia. He did not have COVID. He was well-to-do. He reached out to 43 hospitals, 43. Yet he ended up dying 300 kilometers away from home. Remember where this is happening, not sub-Saharan Africa, not Latin America. It's happening in the United States, the so-called first world. Here's the full story. On the 23rd of August, Ray Demonia complained of heart problems. He was admitted at the Cullman Regional Medical Center in Alabama. It's a 145-bed hospital, a medium-sized one. 12 hours later, his wife got a call. The hospital could not find a cardiac ICU bed. Not just in their hospital, but virtually anywhere. All the beds were occupied by Wuhan virus patients. They called 43 hospitals in 3 states, 43, no luck. None of them had a specialized ICU bed. Eventually, they did find one. Do you know where? At Rush Foundation Hospital in Meridian, Mississippi. It's almost 300 kilometers away. So Ray Demonia was airlifted to Mississippi, but it was too late. He passed away after being admitted. The family has published an obituary for him. This is what it says. In honor of Ray, please get vaccinated if you have not. In an effort to free up resources for non-COVID related emergencies, he would not want any other family to go through what his did. Who do you blame for this tragedy? Sure, you could point fingers at the health infrastructure in Alabama. It was ranked as the 6th worst state for healthcare in the US. But this patient reached out to 43 hospitals, not just in Alabama, but in 2 other neighboring states. Why were those hospitals filled? Because Americans are refusing to take the vaccine. I'll show you some numbers. The US CDC conducted a study of 13 states over 6 months. Here's what they found. Unvaccinated Americans made up 87% of hospitalizations. 87%. People with 1 vaccine shot made 5.7%. Fully vaccinated people, just 4%. It doesn't get simpler than this. Vaccines save lives. They reduce the risk of hospitalization. The CDC also did a study on vaccines and COVID-related deaths. What did they find? Unvaccinated people are 11 times more likely to die. So what exactly are Americans waiting for? Is there a vaccine shortage? Clearly not. The US is vaccinating teenagers. They're also planning to give a 3rd shot to their citizens. Availability is not their problem. Politics is. Conservatives in the US do not want to get the vaccine. Why? Because they don't want Joe Biden to win. I know it makes no sense. The vaccines were supposed to be Donald Trump's big win. Trump called himself the father of COVID vaccines, but his supporters don't want it. So what does Joe Biden do? Practically nothing. No vaccine mandates, no outreach. Biden simply blamed the conservatives. He basically drove them further away. US vaccinations peaked by around mid-April. Nearly 2 million people were getting vaccinated at that point. Since then, the numbers have been falling. And Joe Biden simply watched on. He did not know what was happening. Or did he? Well, since the Western media barely talked about it, it's quite possible that he wasn't aware. They were so busy hunting sob stories, talking about India and Brazil, while completely ignoring the outbreak in America. Well, this is the result, a completely avoidable death. In April 2020, the same patient, Ray Demonia, had suffered a stroke. In 3 hours, his family found a hospital. Not in Mississippi or Tennessee, but just 50 miles from his home. And remember, this was April 2020. The pandemic had reached the US by then. This time, things did not turn out so well. Ray Demonia died on the 3rd of September, just 3 days before his birthday. Being anti-vax is no longer a political statement. It's a death sentence, not just for you, but the people around you as well. And ironically, these are the same Americans who call themselves pro-life. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
Gravitas, co-presented by Skoda. Kushaq, choose what really matters.